Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Ethan Spazarski. Today on PYC, we got a slate of great content for you. To start out, we'll talk about the Four Nations face-offs, its successes, how good it's doing, and then we'll dive into that championship game between the USA and Canada. Then after that, we dive back in with the 5-on-5 as Chase Maseko defends his title against a formidable foe in Michael McKenzie. And then finally, to wrap it up, is it time to get rid of human umpires? All that and more right here on Plead Your Case.
Hey there, sports fans. You're watching another episode of Waynesburg University Community Television's only national sports debate show, Plead Your Case. Whether you're a diehard fan or a casual observer, get ready to join us every week as we dive deep into current pressing sports topics. Our panelists dissect every angle, every scenario, and every statistic to influence their fiery takes.
What has he done without Tom Brady?
And spirited arguments.
No, listen, Bowtie. Have you ever played Foursquare? No, you were too old to play Foursquare.
There will be no argument unexplored, and every take will be under review.
After reviewing the play...
Here in the Waynesburg University Communication Department, we believe in heated debates with a touch of friendly competition, which is why we also have a fresh 5-and-5 mini segment that you won't want to miss.
I don't think a pitcher is breaking Cy Young's wins record of 511.
You Google America's team and what do you get? You get the...
So sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious sports chat. It is time to plead your case.
Hello, everyone. Let's get right to it. My name's Ethan Spazarski, along with my fantastic panel of the most hockey-aware gentlemen I have ever met, Tyler Aaron, Anthony DeFilippo. Gentlemen, Four Nation face-off has been a beaut and a half. Let's start here and talk about our overall thoughts of it, implementing it this year instead of the traditional All-Star game. What are our thoughts towards it? How do we think it's gone? Maybe some memorable moments. Tyler, we'll start with you.
Let me tell you this. This is the greatest thing the entire sport of hockey has done since sliced bread was invented. This is just amazing. Four of the best nations in the NHL, the biggest stars, all playing together. We get to see McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby all on one team. Like back in like the 90s when Gretzky and Lemieux played for Team Canada, it was like once or twice. Like just seeing Crosby, McKinnon, and McDavid play all together on the same team, on the same power play. It's so cool. This is like the greatest thing ever. You got the Winter Olympics next year, so there's going to be more teams involved. World Cup of Hockey in 2028. You're just going to rotate those every 2 years. This is great because the All-Star game and the skills competition lately has not gotten a lot of viewership because it's low-key kind of sucked. I mean, especially with the skills competition because like they do it, but then they go to break and do a completely different one and then just do finish them all at the end. Like, that's just not fun to watch anymore. But these hard battling tournament style between all these nations, I love it. I love this. This is great for the sport.
You know what, Tyler? I was in the camp. I was spectacle because it almost sounded too good to be true when this whole thing was announced. But it is completely lived up to the hype. I completely agree with that. I was a little skeptical about how hard the checking would be. It's been fantastic. The contact has been awesome. There's been injuries, 3 fights in the first 9 seconds on Saturday night, and a championship match that is going to be absolutely fantastic, the rematch from last week.
I didn't know we were cheering for injuries. That's actually really funny.
I'm not cheering for
it.
injuries. I'm just glad that there's some sort of contact.
No, I completely agree.
Because
like,
All-Star games never have that.
Think of the NBA.
And they don't
Exactly.
care about it either. What are they playing for? $1 million?
Yeah.
Flag football.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like the Pro
100%.
Bowl. It's like with the flag football.
No,
but
you hit the
you're
nail on the head.
playing for a gold medal. You're playing for your country.
No one wants to play for a 2013 Acura. Like, who cares?
No one cares.
Who cares?
Okay, you have the
You get a brand
hardest
new
shot.
car. Congratulations. Sidney Crosby has 3 Stanley Cups.
Congratulations.
No one cares.
You have the hardest shot for this season.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Here's a cookie.
Here's
Here's
a
a cookie.
Instead of play for your country, boo the national anthem.
You give a
This,
Sidney
that, the
Crosby
other.
a cookie, you get great hockey.
Look at what Drew Doughty said the other night. I will do anything to defend my country
Oh my
when asked if
gosh.
he would fight Matthew Tkachuk in this championship game.
Who's hurt right now? by
All
the way,
right,
of course.
Yeah.
gentlemen. Let's keep it moving. Right now, each average game is averaging 4.4 million views, and some have even peaked up into the 5 millions. NHL hasn't received that much viewership in any hockey game, excluding a Stanley Cup final, which is absolutely fantastic. And then we alluded to it before. We'll get into it now. Canada, USA. Traditionally, the two most well-known hockey programs, hockey countries in the world. You give them that. They overall, throughout all time, it's been Canada and USA, the guys that have proven, especially as of late. We saw a little bit of a glimpse, 3 fights in 9 seconds, but we also saw a glimpse of, maybe it was a little altered glimpse, I should say, because Canada had some injuries, weren't dealing at 100%. Now the story's the tables have turned, if you will, for USA. What maybe do you think is expected to be the difference between the first game and now this championship game between the United States and Canada?
I think definitely who's going to be in the lineup. Obviously, we saw Team Canada a little bit hurt in that first matchup. Now it seems to be the tides have switched over to Canada. It was just released that Quinn Hughes is going to be back for Team USA after the Charlie McAvoy injury, stuff like that. But honestly, it's going to come down to the goaltending for me between Connor Hellebuck and Jordan Binnington. Obviously, Connor Hellebuck being one of the greatest goaltenders that we've seen in this decade already, only let up 2 goals the entire tournament. Right now, Jordan Binnington averaging around 2.5, 2.6 goals against per game. So that's definitely going to be the tall tale here. But these are the biggest stars. 4 of the best players in the NHL, Crosby, McDavid, Matthews, McKinnon, all are playing in this game. 3 for Canada, 1 for US. I think this is going to be a battle for the centuries, and everybody is going to be tuned into this one.
You know what? To turn around and play a game for your country on Thursday night, and then the regular season starts back up on Saturday. That's absolutely crazy. But yeah, this game doesn't matter to me. Charlie McAvoy coming out, whoop-de-doo. Maybe another guy gets hurt before that, and Quinn Hughes flies in like a bald eagle and wins it for USA Saturday night. I know we're not getting to the prediction part yet, but they spell leaf wrong. They spell leaves wrong in Canada. I close my eyes and I don't see maple syrup. I see a bald eagle. Let's fly, baby.
Let's fly. I mean, Boston is going to be very exciting.
And it's a home advantage game
Exactly
for you.
to watch. Moving around, kind of getting to see of how the USA fans are going to respond to how the Canadian fans handled everything before the game as well. Some other side notes, Canada gets Cale Makar back. I mean, one of the best defensemen in recent NHL history. He's back for Team Canada. And then I think something else to mention, Canada in these tournament-style games that they've brought back, the NHL has brought back, has won 9 of all 13 all-time that the NHL has provided, and they've won 5 of their last 6. Now, again, I alluded to the USA kind of really getting into the mix of things of being the best in the world. I mean, we talked about the Junior Cup as well. We talked about the World Cup of Hockey that's coming back too. Maybe what are some other guys you're expecting to see that you're excited for, or maybe even the coaching matchup as well? I mean, John Cooper and Mike Sullivan, 2 of the best in the NHL right now, doing it for their respective countries. How do you see that working out?
The way Mike Sullivan coaches is interesting because it doesn't help the Pittsburgh Penguins at all, but it helps a team that actually has skill, talent, and experience. What USA has right now, you know, they have Jake Gensel. He's super used to playing with Mike Sullivan. He's one of the best players of this tournament so far. You just look up and down their lineup. The depth is crazy on Canada too. You know, they have Cirelli, Hagel, guys that can PK. They have guys, obviously their power play is full of super star-studded talent, star-studded power. But yeah, no, Jake Gensel is one of the guys that I'm probably looking to in this game. And then you're just looking up and down the lineup. If Quinn Hughes slots in, get ready for a Hughes and Hughes connection. Jack, Quinn, it's going to be a great time.
For me, I'm looking on the defensive side for Team USA. Zach Werenski leads the team in points, tied for first in the entire tournament, 5 assists, 5 points for him. He ties that with Sidney Crosby, who has 1 goal, 4 assists in the tournament as well. So I'm looking at the defensive side. Obviously, Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar is going to play on Thursday, but Zach Werenski has been getting it done offensively for Team USA. Also, another guy I want to throw in there, Jack Eichel as well. He's been killing it. 4 points for him already in this tournament. We'll see what he can do.
Team USA has the Vezina favorite right now in Connor Hellebuck, and they also, in my opinion, have the Norris favorite right now in Zach Werenski in the regular season. Of course, they're both playing super well. That gives them the edge. I mean, I feel like people right now are sleeping on Team USA. They're like, oh, we're getting Cale Makar back if we're Team Canada. USA has all that talent, and they already beat Canada. They're 1-0 against Canada in this tournament. I don't care about the past stats. That's the stats right now.
That is very true. I think, I get a side note, though, again, USA's been hit with the injury bug. It is there. You have Brady Tkachuk, who left for the game versus Sweden, again, with the injury. He's out. Matthew Tkachuk reportedly had some injury. He did also get sat out of the game overall just to make sure for health reasons, as well as Hellebuck, as well as, some other players to name for USA. But again, Cale Makar coming back from an illness that he had reportedly Saturday. I do understand the goaltending matchup is definitely favoring USA right now. Connor Hellebuck, 2 goals in this tournament out. He's played 120 minutes of hockey right now. But it's come to the time. Our picks, game picks. Will the United States get its first tournament win since 1996? We'll start with Anthony.
This is not Fly, Eagles, Fly. This is the bald eagle. USA will win it. It'll be a really close game. I'm thinking like maybe a 3-2, 4-3 final. But Jordan Binnington, watch out. He chokes in the big moments. Connor Hellebuck will get it done in net.
You see, I'm putting down my pancakes and maple syrup on the table for this one.
Disgusting. I'm a waffles guy.
I'm going with Canada on this one. I can't root against my captain, Sidney Crosby. I can't do it. I know Mike Sullivan is the head coach of Team USA. I know Kyle Dubas is up there in the management as well. I can't do it. I can't go off my boy, Sidney Crosby. I'm going to root for him the whole way until he retires. Sidney Crosby is him. He's him.
Is him.
Well, gentlemen,
Yeah.
You have to root for Sid.
You have really changed
Not rooting for someone that booed my national anthem. That's all I got to say.
You two have really changed the game of how we decide to make picks here on the Pick'em segment. But I am going to ride the boat of Tyler Aaron and really disappoint our great nation. And here's why. I think right now the main thing for Canada was the lack of defense they had at times, allowing the USA in, allowing just simple shots. The first goal Binnington gave up, not his finest. And we can say for Hellebuck, the only goal Hellebuck gave up, roughly, that wasn't his best. That wasn't at his best. However, Connor McDavid.
If you have Connor McDavid
20
miles an hour
at
in your face,
I understand the struggle, but with what we've seen from Hellebuck, that's something you just can't allow. I also think it also comes down to coaching and the history of experience right now. It really is effective. I think John Cooper's put himself in a better spot. They're learning. They get Cale Makar back. That defense is automatically better. USA's bit with the injury bug. I'm going to roll ahead and take Canada. However, I'm still very, very excited for this fantastic Four Nations face-off conclusion. We hope you are as well. But that will wrap up our first segment. But when we come back, we're going to head over to the 5 in 5 segment. And boy, do we got a doozy for you there. Don't go anywhere.
Unable to watch the live stream? Follow our account on X for live updates on the game. Check us out on Instagram as well for game day posts with all the information you need to know, as well as behind the scenes of each production. Our social media team works the hardest to give the best content to all of our audience. We're even on TikTok. You can stay up to date with WCTV on our Instagram account with clips from each of our shows. And last but not least, subscribe to our WCTV YouTube channel to watch those shows in full length. Check us out from Lewiston, WCTV, and the entire Department of Comm.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back in here for the 5 in 5 mini segment. Now, this one, folks, is a heavyweight bout right now. To the left, the champion, Chase Maseko, but to the right, the challenger, Michael McKenzie. This one's going to be great, fellas. I wish you both the best of luck. Let's get right into it. First question.
Wait, don't we have to do rock, paper, scissors to decide who goes first?
That would be a good
Or
point.
does the reigning
Do I
champion
get
get to
a
go
choice?
first?
You know what?
What's
The
rule
reigning
here?
champion gets to go first, so
Okay.
it makes me look less bad.
Okay.
Alrighty. First question for you, Chase. Which sport is the most physically demanding? Rugby, American football, or MMA? Your clock starts now.
Yeah, I think this is an easy choice. I have MMA here. It's literally a fighting sport. Football and rugby, yeah, tackling is a part of the sport, but MMA, you're literally there to just fight. One of the main things I put down is the weight classes. You have to make weight, and that's really destroying your body sometimes when you're struggling to gain and lose weight as you go. Prime example of some injuries, Anderson Silva broke his leg during one of the biggest matches of all time, so that's why I have MMA here.
Alrighty.
I think I'm going to go rugby. That's more demanding because of the physical nature that it has. It's still almost the same physical nature, I think, to MMA and to American football. In MMA, there's not as many bouts and fights. I get it, you're still training year round, but you're not demanding yourself to the highest level in that sport all the time. You are in rugby, and I'm picking rugby over American football because it's a more continuous style of play as opposed to American football. You get 20, 30, 40 seconds sometimes between plays. That's not counting end of quarter breaks, media timeouts, and regular timeouts. So I'm going to go with rugby here.
All righty, very nice. Gentlemen, great first job. Now, Mike, we'll turn it over to you to start our second question. Should college athletes be paid, or is their scholarship enough compensation?
Listen, their scholarship is a lot of compensation, but they absolutely should be paid, at least D1 college athletes, because you look at all these networks, ESPN, CBS, Fox, NBC, they promote those games endlessly. They make millions of dollars off those games. These universities make millions, sometimes billions of dollars off television deals to watch these guys play. There's some cut that should go to these players outside of their full ride scholarship. I get that the scholarship is a big deal. You get your education if the football thing doesn't really work out, but the amount of money being important.
All
right.
However, fair argument, Mr. Chase.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and agree with you, Mike. These players are playing at the second to next level to the NFL or whatever their major sport is. And these players, they're dedicating so much time and effort into this sport that they deserve to be compensated for it. Also, we see them in games like NCAA Football 25. They should get paid for that too. They need to be compensated for their services to the team. Like we said, they're bringing in millions of dollars to their different organizations.
Alrighty, you have been cut off as well. Gentlemen, moving on to the third question. Very well done so far. Should the NFL add a rule that makes field goals on kickoffs count as points? Chase, you're first.
I'm going no here. And my logic behind it is the defending team has no opportunity to stop it. When you're kicking a field goal or throwing a touchdown pass or even going for a two-point try, the other team gets to defend it. If you're on a kickoff and you're just kicking the ball through the upright, the other team has no opportunity to stop that point from happening.
All right, very nice.
I mean, it would absolutely not, because it completely eliminates kickoffs. Because if you had a chance to put it through the uprights every kickoff and get a free 3 points, why are you not going for that? So either there's going to be a touchback every kickoff, or you're getting 3 points every kickoff. And the only thing that this would benefit is the pocketbooks of Roger Goodell, Vegas, and the NFL as a whole. Because yes, it would add entertainment value when a team's down 10, you get the touchdown, then you can get the 3 points on the field goal on the upcoming kickoff. But that's all it does. It completely eliminates kickoffs, which they just tried to bring back with the new kickoff rules.
All right, gentlemen. Very nice again. And now next question, question number 4. Should the NFL implement replay review for all penalties, some penalties, or maybe what penalties should be reviewable?
Only 15-yard personal foul penalties, like roughing the passer, pass interference, or just personal fouls that hits to the head, things like that. If you allow holding penalties, offsides, false starts, illegal formations, and any little 5-10-yard penalty to be reviewed, it's going to become tedious for the officials. So it's going to become tedious for fans to watch the game because of how many challenge flags are thrown and how many stoppages in play there are. Plus, you could argue there's holding on every play. You could argue there's a false start here or there, offsides, so-and-so. There's subjective calls that if you put up for review, it's going to pause the game. It's just not going to work.
Very well done. Chase?
Yeah, I agree with Mike. Similarly, I have any type of plays that might injure players. So face masks, hip drop tackles, horse collar tackles, helmet to helmets. Review those plays. Make sure we're getting the call right. Even if we're missing a helmet to helmet call, if the player's injured, we got to be able to go back, review that, and make sure the team is getting the benefit of their player getting injured. But I think any type of injury play should be able to be reviewed.
All righty. Now on to the final question, gentlemen. This has been fantastic. All credit to both of you. Final question, which is a better environment, baseball playoffs or the NFL playoffs?
Yeah, baseball bias here. I'm going baseball playoffs. You always, as a kid, sit in your room and dream of that Game 7, bottom of the ninth, home run to take the series for your team. And as a kid who grew up with that dream, I think nothing beats it. You can win the Super Bowl in the overtime or whatever, but we've seen that before. We've only seen one walk-off home run in recent memory to give the World Series to a team.
All right. Mike?
I got to go baseball playoffs too. I think baseball, it has a more passionate fan base, which I think delivers more excitement when the big plays happen. Plus, I think there's more anticipation in baseball playoff games. You're on the edge of your seat for every single pitch. No matter what, you know anything could happen at any given moment. In football, yes, you're on the edge of your seat almost every play, but you got 3rd and 20 in a 10-point game. Yeah, you know you're going to run draw play here, try to call up a screen. It's probably not going to work. I just think there's more anticipation with every pitch and every play in the MLB playoffs, and then the passionate fan base.
Alrighty, gentlemen, there it is. All 5 questions have been asked. I'm thoroughly impressed with the research and the delivery of both of you. I knew this would be a heavyweight bout nonetheless. However, my winner for the 5-5 this week is going to be Michael McKenzie by a score of 3-2. It was very close. Chase, I give you the first one. Next 2 went to Mike. Then it went to Chase. Again, I thought you really tied together with the player's safety. I think that matters most over than the viewership, while that was a very valid point. And then finally, I think just the moments. I think your delivery was just a little better on the MLB. But fantastic. Even though NHL playoffs are better than both those playoffs, great work by both gentlemen here. We're now going to get back to the main segment to finish up. Plead your case here. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back in, everyone. Back with our original panel and Tyler Aaron and Anthony DeFilippo. And this time, we're going from the ice out to the backyard, America's pastime of baseball. A discussion has broken out on here on PYC and also out with everyone in the real world, all baseball fans. Automated strike zones, robotic umpires. Is it time to do away with humans? Gentlemen, a lot to talk about. There's a lot of different aspects to dive into first, but let's talk about this. Overall, are we fans of it before we get to details? Yes or no? Tyler, we'll start with you.
I kind of like it because you still have that human aspect to it with the home plate umpires, but you also have the technology in it with the automated ball strike technology system. Last season, 27,336 missed calls. 1,637 of those were on missed strikeout calls. I think it's necessary to put a automated ball strike system in, but it has to go through at least a few years of testing. You can't mess this up, because if you mess this up, I think it's going to ruin the game of baseball.
Yeah, it's a real interesting case study to look at what happened in AAA last year, what happened in AA, and what happened throughout the minor leagues, because that's kind of what they did last year. They did a little bit of a testing phase. I'd like to see it probably one more year, and it's going to at least be one more year down in AAA of testing. The 3 challenge system seems to be what's going to stick down there. Whether that transitions to the MLB, we'll see. It might even have to wait until the next CBA in a couple of years, but I think that's kind of where I'm landing right now, the 3 challenge system being the best option.
The automated ball strike system, the ABS, is planned to be put into effect starting in 2025 spring training for all of our teams. That's where you're looking at the quote-unquote robo-ump. I don't know how I kind of like it, actually. The name. I like the name. I'll give them that.
It's fascinating. I mean, they're planning on testing it in 13 different stadiums this spring training.
Yeah, it says 13 different ballparks hosted by 19 teams in 2025 as of right now. So, gentlemen, now we all understand the knowledge, the basic understanding of what this entails towards if we bring in the ABS or robo-ump. What would be some edits or changes? Because we know it's not going to be perfect. However, we also know you're not going to make everyone happy when this brings into it, because there's a lot of people that feel maybe you take out human umpires, you take out the human aspect of baseball. 1, do you agree with that? And 2, what would the edits be to your plan if you were to install this plan?
Well, what did you say right off the top? America's pastime, right? I feel like there's kind of an aspect there which you're ruining if you just completely have this automated balls and strikes ABS system. So that's why I think you still have to have a human standing behind the plate. However, if you implement the challenge system, that kind of helps out a little bit, because you see how many obvious calls get called either one way or the other during the course of a season. So if you have that challenge, you can get it back. If you clearly miss a strike right down the middle or something like that, that's an easy call that you can just reverse and get right back. and it happens within seconds too. So that'll help.
Now, the nice thing about that, too, is technology is shown to be sometimes unreliable as much as we use it and as much as it's become a part of our daily lives. Also, that aspect, if the robo-ump isn't working, guess what? You got a human right there that can come and fill in and save the day, and then we kind of get that natural aspect back to it as a backup system. But that's a very good point. Tyler, what about you?
I think the human should be the one making the calls, and then the automated umpire is there if the call is wrong. Now, obviously, I don't want this to be a point where every single pitch it's going to have to go to the automated ball strike system because the batter or the pitcher is challenging the pitch because, I think that's a strike, but really it was like 3 inches off the plate, like this much. So, they got to not ruin the game. Because if it's going to be a thing where every pitch is going to get challenged for the automated ball strike system, it isn't going to be a fun sport to watch.
Well, you have to understand, building off your point, the stuff that they've tried to do over the last couple of years to speed up the length of games, the pitch clock, the pickoff limit. I feel like that'd almost be counterintuitive if they have the challenge system. So I'm agreeing with you. If the pitcher or batter challenges every other pitch, it'll go back from 2 hours and 15 minutes to 3 hours per game, which will essentially ruin baseball all over again.
So a few other facts to add to it. The ABS has actually been in testing since 2019. However, it has not been brought up to the major leagues as of yet. And then also the automated balls and strike system they actually could be put in place as of 2025 because major league umpires will all be under contract, like a re-signing phase in 2025. Now, gentlemen, a key aspect I want to bring up to you guys here is how would you handle this situation? Bottom of the ninth inning, World Series. All the marbles right there. Bases loaded, 3-2 count. Put whatever teams you want in it or however it is. You're put in, the robot, some malfunction, some malfeasance. How would you handle that? How would you feel about that? And if it makes a mistake in a critical moment like that?
Oh, I would hope that it wouldn't be a problem because I'd still have the human umpire behind the plate and the automated
Well, what
ball
if it
strike
doesn't?
system.
What if the MLB doesn't follow the Tyler Herro model? What if it's just a robot? How do you
Then
feel that?
I don't know. I guess you're just gonna have to, I don't know, get the manager's degree on it if you're not gonna have a human umpire behind the plate to make that call. Because obviously it's technology. It's bound to malfunction at some point, right?
I think there's a lot more behind this than what we actually think. Because in that situation, who overrides who? Does the human override the robot? Is ChatGPT just going to take over the world all of a sudden? Which I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be completely opposed to that. I mean, I'm just not going to. I'm just going to stop talking. And
is it going to be a batter-pitcher agreement? What's the what's the deal?
I'm going to say you flip a coin. Actually, that's how you figure it out. 3-2.
Jr.'s coming down. With a big mic on his.
Yeah.
Rob,
the robot, Rob Manfred actually gets to make the call.
Yep.
Ball. Game over.
Yeah.
Ball. Game over.
That's what I think.
Dodgers win again.
Dodgers win again. With the way they're buying.
With the Dodgers and the Yankees on the line in 2033, their 10th consecutive World Series appearance. No.
So overall, can I just go over one more time because I mean there's been a lot of words thrown around. So you're for the idea, however, you want a human there to.
Yeah, I'm with TA. I think the challenge system would be nice, but I would love a human to be behind the plate. I don't want to see a robot behind the plate.
Now, would you think that after a few years renegotiating some terms, like the amount of challenges, so if you go into a game and you see, all right, 3 challenges isn't enough, or that's way too much.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to make some changes as you go, just to kind of adapt to what's happening.
I think you get 1 challenge.
Ooh.
The pitcher and the batter gets 1 challenge per at bat.
Per at bat.
Wow. Per at bat. We're never gonna. We're back to 3-hour games.
No, we're back to 4-hour games.
We're back to 4-hour games.
Yeah.
You have to. I mean, at least the batter gets a challenge. At least a challenge. A game at bat.
So
it doesn't.
So the batter gets 1, and then the dugout gets 3. Management gets 3.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. Or my other plan, keep it the same.
Just nothing.
Here's the thing with sports. There's always going to be a call that goes wrong. We see it in every sport. NFL, NHL, NBA. We see it all the time. And it's pretty popular for it, but it's part of the game. So why would you try and futurize the game?
Well, because umpires stink.
Well, the problem is
NFL referees.
The problem is it gets the
NHL
most heavily scrutinized during baseball because they make so many calls a game. They make You know, they make a call literally every pitch, whether it be a ball or a strike, and some are more obvious than not. But I think if you look at the success rate in baseball, probably compared to some of the other sports, it's probably a little bit closer than you think because they make at least 200 calls a game, maybe more.
Okay, well, you'd have to sit down and do
It would
the
be
math.
you'd have to literally sit down and do that, and that's why we don't get paid to do that, and the league does. So they're going to come up with whatever they're going to come up with, and then we'll react. That's what we do. We just talk about it up here on this panel.
I'm willing to bet that maybe like 1.2% of calls were missed out of every single pitch thrown this year.
I think it's closer to 1 or 2. Absolutely.
Which, in my opinion, is not that impactful.
Well, you
for a
think
game.
30 teams play 162 games or whatever it is, 32 teams.
It's
Like,
one thing if it's a blatant strike or a ball call
well,
that goes the
Angel
other way.
Angel
But if it's
Hernandez
on the line,
retired,
who
so we're
cares?
fine. We're saved.
All righty. Well, I'm glad we're safe because that's going to wrap up our episode of Plead Your Case. We appreciate all of you for sitting down and tuning in. Maybe whether you agree, disagree, we appreciate it. We like talking about it. But for Tyler Aaron, Anthony DeFilippo, Chase Maseko, and Michael McKenzie, our producer, Logan Arblaster, and our fantastic crew, we say so long. We hope you sit back and relax for a whole week because when we come back, we'll be just right back at it next week here on Plead Your Case.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.